Welcome to Making Every Contact Count for Wellbeing, a person-centred approach. If you work in a health, social care or community setting as a frontline worker, then this is for you. It will give you a framework to have a brief conversation with people whom you meet, which is supportive and encouraging of them improving their well-being. It covers core skills and information that you can then use to implement making every contact count in your own work setting. It's about you walking the walk. Making every contact count gives you an opportunity to live out your core values. You can be enabling and support the person to have the motivation, capability and opportunity to make changes in their lives that will improve their well-being. You can show that you're caring and sensitive to the other person's needs, and you can be person-centered and put the other person at the heart of decisions about their lives. So why is making every contact count important? It's about prevention. It's about supporting people to make small changes in their everyday lives that can make a big difference to their well-being. We spend billions on avoidable illnesses such as type 2 diabetes, coronary heart disease, stroke, respiratory and liver diseases. And the impact of avoidable ill health is often greatest on people in more deprived communities. And it's no longer just enough to treat people once they're ill. With a growing, diverse and ageing population and high rates of chronic diseases, obesity and mental health problems, we need a more radical solution. And we are talking about well-being, and well-being is not just about health. Well-being is a resource for life. It puts years in your life and life in your years. People have mentioned 5 key themes that are important to their personal outcomes for well-being. Health, feeling well, coping well with pain, having a healthier lifestyle. Relationships, having supportive friends and family, having a good relationship with their clinical staff and carers. Participation, being able to have a good social life, be involved in leisure and cultural activities and feel part of the community. Security, having a safe and secure home, reducing risk-taking behaviours and managing finances well. Independence, being as independent as possible and having a say in decisions about my life and my care. Well-being is important wherever we are on our life journey, whatever our age and circumstances. It can help us to be more engaged in our own health, more activated. It can help us to be the best we can be, whatever our medical conditions and circumstances. It can help us to make and sustain changes in our lives that will benefit us. And it can be helpful in helping us to be more engaged in our local communities and activities. In short, improving well-being can benefit the individual through improved physical, emotional and mental health. It can benefit communities through having more people involved in local communities and strengthening them. And it can benefit health and social care systems by reducing the burden. How can you make every contact count for well-being? You can be more person-centred. The person has to be at the heart of decisions about them. We can be person-centred by looking out, listening out, and using a simple 3-question conversation framework for well-being. Look out for things that might prompt a brief chat about well-being. Does the person seem lonely, bored, anxious, depressed or agitated? Have you spotted any hazards in the home, such as loose rugs or lack of a smoke alarm? Or is the person sitting in a cold room? Do they have access to food and drink? Listen out. If the person mentions that they feel concerned about something, make sure that you acknowledge that concern. It may not be in your gift to solve the issue, but listening, supporting and signposting to appropriate help is. And if you haven't spotted something or heard something, you can actually be proactive and make every contact count yourself by having a door opener to a conversation, such as letting people know that there's a national campaign on at the minute that will help them with their well-being, and asking them what they think about that. The 3-question framework. Question 1. What matters to you? Question 1 is all about what matters to the person, not about what matters to us. So whatever the reason you're having a conversation with the person, take time to ask, is there anything else that matters to you right now that you wish to mention? Or is there anything else important to your recovery? You could use the 5 themes to well-being as a lens through which to understand the issues that might impact on the person's well-being. And you can show them the 5 key themes and invite them to consider the issues for themselves. There are resources to support you for this. Question 2 helps the person to identify their personal outcomes in the areas of importance to them. So question 2 asks, what does doing great in this issue of concern look like for you? So if you were to imagine a solution had been reached in this area, what would it look and feel like for you? What is the personal outcome that you wish to achieve? What is the difference that will make a difference to you right now? Again, there are resources to support you. Question 3, once the issue has been identified and the person has been able to express their personal outcome, we want to help them think about what their first steps might be and what support they might need on those steps. So ask something like, now you have a clear idea of what doing great looks like for you, what do you think your first steps towards this outcome might be? So that's the basic framework. Question 1, what matters to you? Question 2, what does doing great look like for you? And question 3, what will be your first steps to achieve your outcome? There are some communication skills it's worth thinking about that will help you to make every contact count. Be attentive. Always try to give your full attention. Use a quiet space if possible. Put down your notepad. Think about your body language and the signals that you're giving out, and be attentive of the signals that you're receiving back. Use open statements and open questions that don't get a yes or no answer, such as, tell me about why this is so important to you. How will you do this? What will be your first step? Acknowledge and reflect back. This shows that we're listening well. So say something like, I hear you say how difficult it is for you to change right now. Or, you've been thinking about this change for some time by the sounds of it. And again, that helps the person to feel understood and can lead you into a further conversation about what the person might need to make a difference for them. So even in a brief chat, we can help people to feel more motivated, more capable, and to have more opportunities to change. Motivate by popping in a positive. That's you saying something encouraging and supportive of change. Something like, I'm sure you can do this. You could ask them to imagine the benefits of that change. Tell me how good you think you'll feel when you are more physically active every day. You can encourage them to make simple plans to change. What will your first step be to quit smoking? Who will you tell? When will you start? You can help people to be more capable of change by inviting them to think about what information or skills they will need to make that change work. You could give information in a neutral manner and then invite them to consider what it means to them. For instance, you should aim to be physically active on most days of the week for about 30 minutes. You can do this in 10-minute chunks rather than 30 minutes all in one go. What sort of activities would work for you? You can give people the opportunity to change by signposting them to trusted sources of information and support, such as NHS Choices, Change for Life, One You, and local groups and buddying services. So this is a call to action for you to make every contact count. There is a knowledge bank to support you, as well as a set of resources to help you to structure your brief conversations about person-centred outcomes for well-being. So please make every contact count and make a difference for well-being.